So we'll move on to our next motion, universal lecture capture. Is there anybody wishing to make a speech in favor of the motion? Number 6. You have 1.5 minutes. Whenever you're ready. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so quite simply what this motion does is it was created based on conversations between the welfare executive and Liam Jackson, the president. Essentially what it is attempting to reinvigorate the campaign for universal lecture capture. The last motion passed a few years back, and essentially I wanted to try and, not to descend in vulgarity, but kick a few asses into gear, mainly the university, the UCU, and perhaps a little bit the student union, and try and make sure students are aware of this campaign and how they can help this campaign. Because I think, frankly, it's this thing that students want. They want universal lecture capture, and I think that there needs to be much more pressing campaign from the students to try and fulfill this endeavor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody wishing to make a speech against this motion? Any comments from the floor? Yes, number 9, all the way at the back.
Thank you. This is a really good motion and really important for accessibility as well. I particularly like the amendment which promotes the SU to work with the UCU. It's really important we show solidarity with our striking lecturers.
Any more comments? Number 6, followed by number 3 at the back.
I do think it's an important point to note that the UCU has referred to students that have campaigned on fulfilling universal lecture capture. They have essentially referred to them as populists, or they refer to them as populist election pledges, to give the exact quote. So again, this motion also gives a little a harder mandate for the student union, a tougher negotiation stance for them as well, because I do think one of the barriers to fulfilling universal lecture capture is the UCU. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We had a comment from number 3 at the back.
Hi, I'm not speaking against this motion. I don't think there's anything especially wrong with it. I just worry that this will get passed and it won't be clear that there's still a lot of barriers between us actually making a difference on lecture capture. The truth is that this motion more or less reiterates most of the points that were already in a previous motion, which this motion would basically update. And the fact is that there's still a lot of problems that have been alluded to with workers' rights at the university in terms of fulfilling lecture capture. And I just worry that students will pass this motion expecting there to suddenly be lecture capture around, but the fact is there's still going to be a lot of hurdles in the way, which this motion doesn't really go anywhere to clear, unfortunately.
Thank you very much. Number 6 has a comment from the middle. Number 6.
No, that is an important point. This motion, essentially, all it does is update the older motion that was passed a few years back. And really, this was essentially the best way that we came to, that was to put the issue back into the campus consciousness. I know there's a long way to go with universal lecture capture, and no one knows that more than me, but I'm not saying this is going to instantly do it, and I'm not saying it does much more than the original motion. Simply the aim of it was to put it back into students' minds, put it back in the forefront of what people were thinking based on student union-led campaigns. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any more comments from the floor? With that, would the proposer, the person who spoke in favour of the motion, wish to make a summing up speech for the motion? No. We had no speech against, so we won't have a summing up speech against. We'll take it to an indicative vote then. All those who would vote in favour of the motion, raise your voting cards. All those who would vote against, and any abstentions. Indicative votes suggest that it would pass.